We gonna talk about Lil Bow Wow today. I'm calling him Lil Bow Wow because he still acts like Lil Bow Wow. A few years ago, I did a video on him talking about the fact that he didn't want to identify as black no more and that he can't identify with the black struggle because of the fact that he has a light-skinned dad. And since then, he has done even more stupid, foolish things. Like, dude stayed taking L's. Everybody is roasting him on social media, year in and year out. You had the Bow Wow challenge where people were challenging others to do a fraudulent act. Bow Wow was on the airplane and he was trying to make it seem like he was out there on some private jet touring and whatnot, but he was actually on a regular freaking airplane with regular freaking people, and somebody caught his butt slipping. And the thing that's funny is when they caught his butt slipping, dude got mad. He got pissed off. Like, and he started dissing the dude and going off on him, and I'm just paraphrasing, but going off on him for hating on his swag and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, you can't face yourself, can you? Recently, he was caught up in some controversy over the fact that he was talking to his boy on some show. I forgot what the show was called. Honestly, I don't care. But he was talking to his boy about how he's gonna be able to, sleep with Lil Mama in about a week. And then he tried to make it seem like Lil Mama would try to come on to him too, that he'll need to get his girl to beat her ASS and all that type of stuff. And Lil Mama read him the riot act. She told him where to get off at. And thinking about the video I did a few years ago and seeing his name in the news over stupid, petty, ignorant foolishness over the past few years has caused me to pay attention to something that I noticed in a lot of young black men. And it seems like young black men are just very immature. You be having grown men who are like 35 years old who still act like little 15-year-olds. That's exactly how Bow Wow acts. Like, you can tell that he's going through somewhat of I wouldn't call it a midlife crisis, more like a 30-year-old crisis, where he's still thinking back to the time period when he was in his early teens and he was popping and he was all famous and everybody knew him as Lil Bow Wow and he had all the girls and he was the biggest thing in young hip-hop music at the time. And he's like, he can't get that out of his mind. Like, that was his peak time period, and since then he's been on a decline while other musicians were taking the limelight and he's starving for attention. That's why you see him on social media just involved in so much drama. Like, he's always saying stupid, fraudulent statements that can easily be refuted by evidence. He's always bashing people. He's very disrespectful to women, and he just talks like a young douchebag. Like, at some point, I feel like you need to grow up. You 30 years old and you still acting like a little teenager, like you 14 years old, man. Like, bro, it's time to grow up, man. It's time to grow up for the real world now. Like, what's funny is, you look at the other young dude that was popping at the time period, Lil Romeo, Master P's son, and you look at how he done grown up since then. And I gotta say, man, Bow Wow, take notes, man. Dude is successful, he's taking care of his business, and you could tell that he's successfully transitioning into adulthood. Like, he's an entrepreneur, owns businesses and everything. Even when you look at the way he talks in various interviews that he has on shows, and when people want to know what he's up to nowadays, the way he carries himself is very respectable. Like, Bow Wow has a lot to learn, man. Like, dude acts very childish. Man, it's downright cringy to see a grown freaking black man in his 30s still acting like a freaking little kid, man. And the thing that's appalling to me is this is something I've noticed over the years. It seems like whenever I meet young white men who are in their 20s, they seem like they're so much older than the age of 25. Like, at my job, I got this supervisor. Ain't gonna say no names, but dude is only a few years older than me. And I straight up thought this man was like 35 years old because of the way he carries himself. Carries himself very professionally, very respectable, handles his business, and talks very mature like. And this dude, only 25 years old, full-blown supervisor and whatnot. But then you look at grown men like Bow Wow, who still give you the vibe of a young 14-year-old. And that's really pointing to a very bad problem that I see in the black community, where black men just aren't growing up. Young black men think that it's cool to be 30 years old still talking about all they haters and how much swag they got and how they get all the BITCHs and I'm getting money, and still walking around with your pants hanging all the way like off your butt, showing your drawers and crap, thinking that you look fresh to death, cool and swagged out, when really you look like fresh prison bait if you was in a prison cell and one of them old timers saw your behind and decided to walk up on you. And you know what? I've noticed something over the past few years. I'm seeing a very large increase in young black women dating white men or men from other nationalities. And one thing that they all have in common, in which I know quite a few of them, is they'll complain that black men seem very immature and childlike. Now me, I'm all about seeing my people together. I love seeing black on black love. You know what I'm saying? I love seeing black sisters with black brothers, you know? But at the same time, man, I'm also very logical, and I cannot argue with the logic of these women who are fed up with young black men who all they want to do all day is just sit on the corner bragging about they swag. You got young white boys out here handling their business, being respectful to women and not talking in a degrading, stupid fashion, and treating their women with love and kindness. You know, I remember a few years ago, this black girl I know in my neighborhood here was talking about how when you date a white guy and you're walking out and it happens to get cold and you happen to forget your sweater, that the white guy will he'll take off his jacket and will let you wear it. Black dude, on the other hand, will be like, well, BITCH, you should have brought yourself a freaking coat. And he'll sit there with his coat on like this, all warm and stuff. Like, I mean, yeah, maybe she should have brought a coat, but you the man, dog. You the stronger vessel, man. Like, give your girl that coat, man. Stop being a little punk, nigga, and give your girl that coat. Y'all be the same Negroes that complain about the fact that your woman ain't submissive, or she don't respect you, or she don't talk to you respectfully, or she don't act like she love you, or the black woman is just so cursed and all this type of stuff. You know, black women, they act all submissive to every other race of people, but they don't act submissive to their own black man. I'm like, dude, look at the way you treat them. Not to stray away from the original topic, but like I said, Bow Wow has a lot of growing up to do. And it's, like I said, it's gotten to the point where it's just downright cringy, because dude think that the way he's acting for his age is completely acceptable when it's not. Like, you have all these exes, and a lot of them are complaining about the same thing, about how immature you are, how you got a lot of growing up to do, how you're damaged and whatnot, and you just can't get over yourself. Like, you have a narcissistic, egomaniac freaking personality, but you can't face yourself in the mirror. Like, honestly, dude, I think what Bow Wow needs to do is take a hiatus from all social media, from the public limelight and all that stuff. He need to go on a hiatus for like 10 years. Don't say nothing, don't do anything. Move to an island somewhere, get a regular job, and go through a bit of a humbling period. Then come back. 10 years, tell everybody, look, I realized I had a lot of growing up to do. I was clowning around too much, and I think I needed that break. People will actually respect you a whole lot for that, man. They would actually have a whole lot of respect for you. Right now, can't nobody respect you. Everybody's just gonna simply clown you because you're not learning. You think that acting like a fraud idiot is going to get you respect. You think that lying about your status and trying to act like something that you're not is the main way to get attention. You think that bashing women and being disrespectful is what's going to get you respect, and dude, you're just in for a rude awakening. I hate to say it, but Bow Wow seems like the type of dude, not wishing this on him or nothing like that, but he's the type of dude who ends up doing drugs because he can't get over the depression he's feeling and the anxiety he's feeling over the fact that he's not as relevant as he once was as a child. He couldn't deal with the fame. The fame went to his head, and when it started to leave, he started to lose his head. Anyway, I'm Elijah Yarike, and the only point I'm trying to make, y'all, is that black men need to grow up. It's time to put aside the childlike behavior, Now, I'm only 22. I ain't got all the answers to life. I don't know everything. I'm not saying that I'm the epitome of what a mature black man is supposed to be. I realize that I still have a lot to learn about life and more maturing and more wisdom to gain as I get older. But I feel like young black men need to they need to take a minute and step back and discern themselves for a change. Stop trying to act like something that you're not. Like, if you're not a certain thing, leave it alone. I'm not gonna be out there acting like I'm some hard Negro who's just out there in the hood, so thugged out and fresh to death and all that type of stuff, because I didn't grow up like that. That's not my personality. I'm a self-professed proud nerd. And so when I see people who try to act like something that they're not, it's really a disappointment, and it's very cringy to me. Anyway, with that I will say subscribe to my channel, like the video, or you can unsubscribe or dislike the video, share and comment. With that I will say peace.